All right, so this is our review of The Familiar by Leigh Bardugo. We all recently read this within the last couple months. I personally love this book. I thought it was the best book I've read by Leigh Bardugo yet. And we'll get into all of our ratings in a second. It's a standalone novel that is a little spicy. I'd say maybe like two chili peppers, one to two. But it is an adult novel. And so, quick just synopsis of this. It follows main character Louisa, who is a maid in a like middle class home during the Spanish Golden Age. Yeah, so Ethan. And Louisa has one other family member in town, this aunt that she meets up with from time to time, and they have what the book calls a milagros. I'm probably mispronouncing that, but it's like a little bit of magic. So Louisa can say some words and, flowers grow, or she can like take a vase that she broke and put the glass back together and make it whole again. And so she has a kind of an estranged relationship with the people of her house, like who she works for. They're, I would say, not really strict, but I would say they're not very like personable to her. They're nice. They treat her very much like she's just a maid. But once they find out she has magic, they try and leverage that to increase their status in the community. And that's kind of like the jumping off point to where because they're trying to achieve more and more status, more things happen, and Louisa gets wrapped up into some tough situations.
Well, she joins a tournament.
Yes. She joined the tournament for the king.
Yes.
To show who can have the best miracle because they're not magic because magic's evil, right? They're miracles and they're informed by God. And that's okay in Spain as long as you're not doing things to the devil.
But it's definitely not magic. Very similar, but not the same.
Not magic. Those are different.
Yeah. Liz, what did you rate it?
I rated it an A. I really liked it. The writing style was good. And I did not guess the ending, which was really fun.
I agree with everything you said. And what did you rate it? So we got an A.
I rated it A minus.
Ooh, why?
I really liked it. So like an A is super high for me. I like that it was standalone too. Like a lot of times you dive into these fantasy books and it's like $10 or $5 at least. And this it was nice to just have a standalone. It was really good. I really liked it. I did not like it as much as Ninth House,
Really?
Oh,
but I liked it like really close to that.
Liz, did you like Ninth House more? Or which one
I
more?
think so. I liked the action in Ninth House better.
That's fair.
Yeah, Hellbound was really good, I should say. The second book in that series. I liked a lot.
Madeline, what did you rate it?
I rated this an A. I was so impressed with the writing. Um, just comparing this to Shadow and Bone, it's like completely different authors.
Mhm.
Um, just I felt like some of it was even poetic. The descriptions of like what was going on, it was just really fun to read. And it wasn't written like anything I had read recently. I also really liked the ending, and I felt like it completely wrapped it up to be a standalone. Like it doesn't need any more books. Once you get to the ending, you feel just completely satisfied with how everything turned out. And since we're doing spoilers, I also really liked that it was like kind of in the same vein of like you start to think it's like Romeo and Juliet. You're like, gosh, she's gonna kill both of them.
Mhm.
And it's just such a pleasant surprise that they do end up living. But it's not just cut and dry of like, oh, they live, they escape, and they're on their own. Like Louisa has to revive him each day. So it was a fun, like creative twist even on that. I liked it.
I liked how the guy that they were like with
Hmm.
also like survived.
He got very lucky.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
did. I loved that too, that she had to revive him every morning. That was an ingenious ending. I liked it.
I also loved the character development of the lady of the house. I was like when you started out the beginning, I forget her name. When you started out the book,
Victoria.
yeah, you hated her. I mean, I did. I didn't
Mhm.
like her. She was very mean. But her transition through the whole story was really fun to watch too.
Yeah,
You're
when
a
there's the
sucker. Oh, I was gonna say Madeline's a sucker for character
I
development.
am. I
Love
am.
it.
like when they were like trying to escape and the whole situation with the horse was
Mm.
when she like really changed when her husband like wouldn't give him the horse.
Valentina.
Valentina, yeah, something
Yeah.
with a V.
You're very close. Yeah. I like too that she turned on her husband and just kind of just like
Yeah,
called him out for being a D-bag.
yeah, he was a jerk.
He was.
He was a coward, in my opinion.
I like it. Everyone should read it. And I agree with Andrea that I feel like a lot of the really good fantasy books are series. And you have to invest like a lot of time into them and stop and start as like the different books come out. And this was such a good one. And it was nice to have a standalone. I haven't read a lot of good standalone fantasy books. So
I thought it also did a good description. Granted, I haven't read much on like Spanish Golden Age, but like the setting and the it's just like, oh my gosh, norms of the time, like with going to church and like what they ate. It was kind of a fun time period to dive into
Mhm.
that we don't typically read about, or I don't. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we read many that are Spanish Golden era.
Mm-mm. So I'd highly recommend. We all would go read it.
yeah.
It even has kind of like a little romance too, a little love story. That's the familiar.
Yay.
Yay.